Welcome to the word focus for this week. We had a wonderful time last week with Resurrection Sunday, and it's our desire that for this week we continue along the lines of what the resurrection of Jesus means for us. So, as you gather with your life groups, as you talk about the word, we're going to be focusing on the effects of resurrection and what does it have to do with our identity. And let me read to you 2 Corinthians 5, starting from verse 14 through 17. It says here, "For the love of Christ controls us, because we have concluded this, that one has died for all. Therefore, all have died. And he died for all, that those who live might no longer live for themselves, but for him who for their sake died and was raised." Verse 16, "From now on, therefore, we regard no one according to the flesh. Even though we once regarded Christ according to the flesh, we regard him thus no longer." In verse 17, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new." The resurrection of Jesus, just like what Pastor Paul shared in the Easter service, Jesus did, did not just change my life, but he has given me life. That's what the resurrection really does for us. That it's not just a changed life, but it's really a new life because our old man has died with Jesus. And as Jesus has resurrected, then just like us, we have resurrected with him. That's why when it says that if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation, we have to grasp that. Let's not just take that lightly, because indeed, we are a new creation in Christ. So as you process this with your life groups as well, what does that look like? Being a new creation in Christ, knowing that I have a new identity, I have a new nature. It's no longer the sinful nature, but it's the new nature in Christ. What does that look like for each and every day as the life of a believer? As someone who goes to work, goes to school, does life, lives life, then how does being a new creation in Christ look like? And I want to share with you just two simple things that Pastor Giselle shared in the English services about being alive to God. That indeed, as believers, we are alive in him. It's only through Jesus that I am alive. It's only in knowing that I can really live life. And the first one, Pastor Giselle said that new life requires new birth. In the same way that physical birth gives physical life, but a spiritual birth gives spiritual life. The life that we are living, the relationship that we have with Jesus is spiritual. And if we don't realize that it takes a spiritual birth for us to live a spiritual life, then we're going to try to live this Christian life out of our emotions, sometimes out of our mind, out of our physical characteristics or our physical life. But this walk that I have with him, being alive in God, this is all spiritual. It's coming from the spirit, man. And you will never be more spiritually alive than you are right now. If you're a believer and you know that you pray the prayer of salvation, you know that Jesus gives you life, then you cannot be more alive than that. Yes, we go through life. Yes, there are circumstances at times. Sometimes I feel far from him. Sometimes I feel that I'm not close to God. But those are just my feelings, because I know that in my standing with him, I am spiritually alive. My emotions do not tell me that. My mind does not tell me that, but it's my spirit that confirms it. Pastor Giselle also said this, that salvation is not a future addition, but it is a present transformation. This is also something that you can talk about in your life groups. What does that mean? That salvation is not just for heaven, but it's here for earth. That salvation should transform. Because I know that I am saved by grace through faith, then transformation comes from that. I am saved not only for heaven, but I'm saved also here for a life on earth. We live through the lens of our identity in Christ. As I make decisions, as I respond to situations, it's always through my identity in Christ. That it's not me who lives. It says in Galatians 2:20 that I have been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And I can take that verse and walk with it each and every day. That it's not me who's reacting to things. It's not me who responds to situations. It's the life of Jesus on the inside of me that allows me to be bigger, that allows me to be stronger. It's His life in me. Pastor Giselle also said this, that new life means new things have come. There are new things that await me. There's hope for the future. Why? Because I'm not limited to my own thinking. I'm not limited to my own mindset. Thank God, I'm not limited to just how I see things in the natural. God can give me hope. Jesus, a life in Jesus, gives me hope that I'm not limited to the physical realm. But there is something beyond. There's something bigger that affects this physical world that we are living in. That's the effect of our identity, my identity in Christ, that I am able to see things also through the lens of hope, through the lens of His grace, through the lens of Jesus, me being grounded in my identity in Christ. And let me end with this, that we grow into the knowledge of our identity in Christ. This is not one time, big time. This is not, I know it now, then that's it. I'm going to know it forever. This is a discovery. It's a process. As we walk with Jesus, as I walk with Him each and every day, then I find out, oh, this is what Jesus did for me. Oh, when I encounter a situation, I can respond this way. Over time, I grow in the knowledge of Him. And it's our desire that as you talk amongst your life groups, then you process this, and I'm sure there will be more revelations about your identity in Christ. God bless everyone.